Welcome to the Darkstream, Voxday, voxday.blogspot.com, and unauthorized.tv. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight that's going to probably be confusing to some people. I know you probably want to talk all about the election and that sort of thing, and the whole post-election crisis, what the president is going to do, what the meaning of this tea leaf is, etc., etc. And just bear with me on this one, because I think that it will help you get a better sense for what may or may possibly be taking place. Okay? And what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you the way that you entertain people and the way that you create and exploit tension. Okay? And this is something that every even halfway capable entertainer knows, uses, understands, takes advantage of, and I think that you'll I think anyone with a IQ above 100 will understand the obvious implications. Thanks very much for the nice wishes about our new alliance with Brazilian publisher Super Prumo. That was a nice little expression, letting people know about our alliance. It's going to be a really good one. It may even be a great one. And we're looking forward to showing you an awful lot more than that. So now some of you may recall that I used to be a member of a techno band called Psychosonic. It was a band that I formed with a friend of mine named Paul. And I'm going to play you a mix of a song that was very successful for us. And it's going to make the point. We're not going to listen to the whole song. We'll skip through it and stuff, and I'll have my microphone on, so hopefully it won't be too distracting. But this is one of the, I believe, 7 mixes. This is one that that Paul and Dan did with Dave Sears, and it's going to make the point, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. And I may pause it here and there just to explain. So now keep in mind that this was a very successful single. It cracked the Billboard Top 40 club charts. And one thing that you might not know about with regards to club music and what makes a song successful in the club or not is that you need to break things up. You need to know when to slow it down. You need to know when to give people a break. You need to know when to build up the tension, and then you need to know when to punch it. Okay? So without further ado, let's take a look at what I'm talking about here. So can you hear that? Let me know if you can hear that. So this starts off with a fairly small, still can't hear it, huh? Can't hear. All right, I don't know. Okay, so that failed. Complete failure on that one. I don't know why you can't hear that. Let me, a little bit. Okay, so let's try this. I'll try bringing it in here, adding the source here. Oh, great. Okay, so as usual, we have the situation where... Okay, when you say sounds great, were you talking about... We have a delay here, obviously, in the chat. So, no, it's not Boomer Tech, your band. Jeez, I hate people who pull that kind of stuff. You don't hear the music. I mean, I ask you a specific question about... Okay, anyhow. All right, so you can't hear the music. I wonder why that is. Let's just try popping it in here and see if it makes any difference here. Let's see. So I need to go into the right directory. There we go. Duality mix. Okay. And so we're default speakers. How about this? Okay, good. So. Okay, so now we've got the mellow part. It's just a track. So we're going to skip ahead a bit. Yeah, my voice is going to echo. So it comes through. You can see it's still just on the cruising on the house. I know there's an echo. Stop talking about it. So we go through here, and then eventually get to the point where it's going on for a while. Need to break it up. And now let's push it forward. And then once we get to this part, this is what it's all building towards the first time. So expect the keyboard to work back in. So we bring in the chorus with all the guitars, a lot more energy, and the crowd gets very into it. This is when they really get it up. But we break it down. So again, you're building it up, and it goes into this kind of pointless breakdown. But now we're going on for what? 4 minutes. We need to bring it down again. And then you wait a second longer. There you go. Notice that we waited about a second longer before hitting it the second time than the first time, because you were kind of expecting it, and it can add that little extra bit of attention. And then just to add a little extra energy. And then we're out. So The point of this is to talk about the way that you manage expectations, the way that you attempt to set the audience up, and instead of things just moving in a straight line, you build it up, you bring it back, you build it up. Oops, I can turn this off. There we go. You build it up, you bring it back, you build it up, you bring it back, and then you bring it up to the climax, and that is the maximum point at which the crowd is engaged. And this is a very common technique. Now I'm going to show you another one. And this stream is not going to stay up on YouTube because, frankly, they probably would have, they probably would try to hit me with a copyright violation of my own song. So, anyhow, have a look at this concert. This was, I actually saw this band in concert once, and this is a masterful example of the same thing. And so if you know the song, and all the people that are at this concert know the song, then you can see that the buildup is almost excruciating. And it's not an accident that this is, number one, probably the song that the fans are most anticipating. This is the big song. And so I thought it was really interesting that here you've got this is the biggest moment of the concert. We're at the climax of the concert. It's the middle of their biggest song, and it's got this very significant breakdown in it. But what's interesting to me is that what you'll see is that for this very important concert, the band has come home after conquering the world, and what they do in order to generate the tension and build up the energy of the crowd and allow it to just absolutely explode is masterful. So have a look at this. Some of you will know, will recognize what this is, but this is the Baby Metal Black Knight concert at Tokyo Dome. So you get the point. The way that they build that up and then hit it at that moment. You know, I had a friend who was at that concert, and he was telling me that that he was seriously concerned that the Tokyo Dome was going to collapse. You know, so what you're seeing there, in my opinion, is exactly what Donald Trump is doing now. Okay? Remember, President Trump is a massive, massive showman. He's an expert showman. And so I don't think that people understand what the building of the tension is going to result in. Okay? And so it's not going to be too long. 10 days of darkness. You know, is it the plan? How would I know? But what you're experiencing, all of the anxiety and all of the tension, is being instilled intentionally in order to provide maximum energy for when the moment comes. And so and I wanted to show you that stuff, both with the stuff that my bandmates and I did, the stuff that Baby Metal, Koba Metal is the producer, Baby Metal is the band, great Japanese, you know, I don't even know what you call them, great metal band. And so this is the buildup. The tension that you're feeling is real. And you've been told many times, enjoy the show. This is a show. And so, yeah, Kawaii Metal, that's actually the correct. So, you know, what I would encourage you to do is keep that in mind, that the tension that you're feeling is real. But that's not a reason to give in to despair. That's not a reason to be afraid. You know, if nothing else, let the show play out. If nothing else, be patient. You don't dictate the time, and the program is already preset. And so, you know, when you're feeling tense about it, when you're feeling on edge about it, remember that's how you are supposed to feel. And so, you know, I personally am feeling very excited about this. Why? Because I don't believe for a second that all of those troops are in Washington, D.C. to deal with us. I was talking to a friend. He's like, you know, he says, I'm a right-wing extremist. You're a right-wing extremist. We have no intention whatsoever of being anywhere near Washington, D.C. You know, we don't even know any of the many right-wing extremists that we know who have any intention of being anywhere close to there. So whoever the troops are there for, they're not there for us. And what really made me laugh was when I saw that Tom Hanks, out of everybody, you know, one of the people who is most strongly and directly and critically implicated by the Q narrative is going to be there. I mean, what are they going to announce next? Steven Spielberg is going to be there filming it? That Oprah and David Geffen are going to be guests on stage? You know, so we don't know the plan. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I very strongly suspect that this is the breakdown. This is the buildup. This is the preparation for the moment that we're all waiting for. So anyhow, be patient, be positive, be optimistic. I would say that I was at 85% confidence before. I would say that after the Hanks thing and after seeing all of the additional traffic and stuff, I would say I'm at 88% now. And that's just in the numerical sense. That's not in any crazy. If it turns out that Spielberg is going to be filming it for a documentary, you can make it 95%. So let me show you one other thing. Some of you haven't seen this before, so I'm going to go ahead and show it to you today. This is another thing that we just released today, and I guess it's self-explanatory. But I'm going to fire it up for you because I think you're going to enjoy it, and then we will take super chats and so forth. So I'll pop this up. Here we go. So that was the announcement of Archaven Comics' partnership with Super Prumo Comics of Brazil. They're going to be publishing our comics in South America. We're going to be publishing their comics in English. And it's going to be pretty awesome. And so this is just the first of many things that we're going to be announcing in the next 2 months. And I'm really looking forward to sharing a lot of this stuff with you. Midnight's War, which some of you saw a preview of on Webtoons, we decided that it was such an important comic. It was too important to be left to me. Something that I created. I wrote the first issue, but Chuck and I talked about it, and we decided that we're going to do it together. So this is the first comic that he and I are actually writing in active collaboration, and all I can tell you is that Chuck sent me his first share of the script today, and the first page, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is interesting. I think I see where he's going with this." The second page is like, yeah, he's definitely going there. And the third page, I actually laughed out loud because it's like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I mean, he took what is already a pretty good comic. You know, everybody really liked Midnight's War. He took Midnight's War and he turned it up to 11, possibly 12. So, yeah, I know about. I haven't watched the Awakener movie yet, but we are actually, in fact, Luciano and I were actually talking today about the possibility of us bringing it to the English market. So, like I said, we have a lot of things coming down the road. If you're not subscribed yet to Unauthorized, I strongly, strongly recommend that you do so, because there's going to be an awful lot of stuff coming out and you're going to want to be a part of it. I can pretty much guarantee that. Anyhow, go ahead and fire up any questions, super chats that you might have. I've got at least another 10 minutes if anybody's got any questions. Let's see if I can see anything. They don't let you scroll back all the way. Fernando says, in a kendo match, my opponent and I started a staring match. He blinked first, I struck him. Be patient and wait for the right moment to strike. That's exactly right. You can't strike too soon. Let things build up properly. Arts Athletics says he just subscribed the other day. Very good. Thank you. Swamp Fox did too. Thank you for the Missionaries. The Missionaries is the book that I am most proud of editing. I think it's the best thing that we've published, honestly. Homeless Guy Wi-Fi says, "Hail Dark Lord." Ave. Will you be selling comics to independent comic stores? All of our stuff is available through distribution. All they need to do is order it from Ingram. Crime Knight says, okay, now play Gimme Chocolate. You know, I liked Gimme Chocolate when I first heard it, but there's just so many other songs that are so much better. Patrick wants to know what was the name. The name of the band is Baby Metal. Will this Darkstream be on UATV? Yes, it'll be on Darkstream, and only the Darkstream after we're done here. I'm not going to leave this video up here. Working Class Bear says, what do you think the outcome will be for Trump? I think the outcome is going to be victory. I think the outcome is going to be 4 more years. Andrew McKenzie sends some shekels for the war chest. Thank you. Appreciate it. We will make good use of it. In fact, I probably can't announce anything yet, but all I can say is that there were some very, very big victories in the last couple days in areas that will be of interest to many people. So you can expect victory announcements on multiple fronts very soon. And when I'm not talking about probably, I'm saying absolutely 100%. Working Class Bear flexes and says onwards. Yeah, Shanti 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 is actually pretty good and very catchy. I think that the whole album is distinctly inferior to the first two, in my opinion. I really miss 158, and I think that it's not as good with the 2 girls instead of the 3. Pompeo's 6 red bottles of wine. He does look like a guy who knows his way around a wine bottle. There's no question. James Fox Higgins says, the Castalia Library books are absolute treasures. I have the first 3. My sons hold them in total awe. Well done, and thank you, Vox and team. Thanks, James. We're very proud of the Castalia Library, and I think that you'll find that Book 4, Divine Comedy, is probably our best one yet, just quality-wise. DM Squirrelcaster says, God give us strength and wisdom in the coming era. Thanks for the content box. You're very welcome. Absolutely. Tango says, have a nickel. I missed it. Dashed onward. Thank you. Pompeo doesn't just look like the cat that swallowed the canary. He looks like the cat that swallowed the canary, the goldfish, and possibly the Pomeranian. MB says, I feel sorry for your blog mods these days. Great work keeping out the riffraff, though. Yeah, they definitely earn their non-pay. They do great work. John Yakub says, Lou Dobbs just dropped that Trump ordered the D-class of Obamagate. Question now is, after this fight, what is the next one? Well, we'll find out. But whatever it is, I'm certain that President Trump will be ready. Lady QAnon Bear says, no one is having more fun than Q-loving bears. I think that's true. I was talking to Owen the other day, and he said, I'm still 10% Q-tarded. Brandon O'Neill is generous and says, I will never support any Republican that betrayed Trump. There are many that have the same view, and I live in California. You shouldn't. I never will either. CCP says, can't wait to receive my Demi Octavos. We'll be working on them soon. Todd Redhead says, what is the best translation of Marcus Aurelius' Meditations? The one that we used for the Castalia Library book. We did a lot of research into the different translations, and that was without question the best one. "10% curious." That's funny. Pooh Bear says he's full Q-tard for about 30 minutes after he gets off the phone with me. Fair enough. It's always funny. It's always funny to me that people think that Owen and I agree on everything. I mean, Owen and I don't even inhabit the same planet most of the time. Our perspectives are so just wildly orthogonal that there's not, the reason there's no conflict is because we're in two very different spaces. We get along great. It doesn't bother me in the slightest that he doesn't agree with me on various things. And I very much doubt that it bothers him at all either. Okay, granted, we have distinctly divergent opinions on the utility of goats. He is very pro them being alive. I'm very pro them being turned into books. So there you have it. We use the Longfellow translation of Dante. Crooked Print Unauthorized Black T-shirt has shut a few up. 10% discount on 5. That's Crypto Fashion's deal. I don't know exactly what the situation or what the offers are there, but Crypto Fashion does great work. They do great T-shirts. I was wearing one of their shirts for most of today. Let's see. Is Steven Crowder disappearing now so he can wait and join whoever wins once the dust settles? Indubitably. Crowder is a classic conservative. He's just a media whore. He just wants to be on the winning side, perceived as being a smart boy that you should listen to and buy coffee mugs from. There's nothing wrong with selling coffee mugs and selling merchandise, but if that's the actual purpose of what you're doing, then I think that you have to ask some serious questions about if this is a person that it makes any sense to back. Any developments of the Italian government today? Last I heard, they were Renzi or Conte, I can't remember which, is still threatening to pull out, and it still looks like the collapse is on. But to be honest, I've been really busy all day. I haven't really read the newspapers much. Let's see. Oh, sick dog update. He's fine. He just needed to get it out of his system. He's doing well. But he did lose his off leash privileges for now. So. Anaf Habib says, the D-class is probably signal for the net to close in and trap the traders. I'm thrilled that a military tribunal will be in charge for quite a while. Be it Hanks, Gaga, or all the rest of them, they are fish in a barrel. It is looking that way. Yeah, I was also thinking So the music is going to be provided by an Illuminati whore, and you know, how much more clear can this be that this is just a giant trap? It'd be interesting if suddenly these people who've announced that they're going to be there suddenly start canceling. What are the odds that Trump has betrayed the people? Very low. I would say intentionally betrayed, I would say 1%. You have to at least be open to the possibility. Certainly he's got enough questionable contacts and stuff that you can't say, oh, there's no possible way that he would sell everyone out to Kushner and Netanyahu. You have to admit to the possibility of that. More likely is that he failed. And that's why I said, my confidence has risen to 88%, but that still leaves a 12% possibility. And of course, these numbers are just representational. They mean nothing. They're not actual probabilities. But, there's still the possibility that people failed him. The plan was derailed. He lost his nerve and didn't pull the necessary triggers. These are possibilities, but the probabilities remain that things are playing out the way that the grand showmaster has planned. That's what we talked about earlier tonight. If those of you who missed it, you can catch it again on Unauthorized. We were talking about the way that the tension that everyone's feeling, the tension that everyone around the world is feeling. It's not just in the United States. People here in Europe are on edge over this. And what it's going to release in is just a massive explosion of relief and joy and anger, and it's going to be a good thing. Welcome to Bronze Pack, Lady QAnon Bear. What happens when pre-collapse societies recollapse? Nothing. That's the benefit of living in Italy. You don't have to worry about things collapsing. They're already collapsed. Everybody knows how to. There's not a single person in Italy who doesn't know how to go on when the government collapses. Nobody, there's definitely an air of, oh, the government is collapsing, it must be Tuesday. Eddie Izzard had it right. You are all fascists. We are all fascists now. Ciao. So, Charlemagne says, conveniently, all the criminals will be gathering in D.C., where the federal government has jurisdiction. Imagine that. What could possibly come of that? The Israel thing is a problem. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Remember, you don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Things do look bad, but things are not always how they look. This concert lineup looks as bad as the attendees of John Paul II's funeral service. It does look questionable, doesn't it? Actually, I like Thomas Gable's observation here. If the Capitol demonstration showed me anything, it's the fact that 98% of the conservative media is sadly spineless. Yes, absolutely. I've been saying this for over a decade. And it's just ridiculous how many people, how many of you, think about how many of you have insisted that, no, Ben Shapiro is really smart. He owns the libs. Oh, Jordan Peterson, he stands up for us. I mean, reject all of these charlatans. Trump has exposed them to you. Pay attention and don't sign on and don't back and don't support and don't get enthusiastic about these charlatans who are literally there to keep you trapped where they want you. They're literally pushed in order to gatekeep you, just like Parler. When I saw Parler come up out of nowhere, I knew it was just another conservative gatekeeping trap. I mean, people know that I'm not particularly a fan of Andrew Torba. I'm not particularly a fan of Gab, but they're not gatekeepers. You know, whether you like the guy or not, he is actually serious about his whole free speech thing. You know, good for him. And in fairness, they've been doing really good work providing alternatives to, public alternatives to Twitter, and Parler is always a joke. Unwanted Man, welcome to Silverpack. And Gabe says, what do you think can be done to help the people that are being arrested from the Capitol storming? I think that they're all going to be pardoned after the 20th. Prager just condemned the... Dennis Prager is evil, okay? Dennis Prager is one of the... He's actually worse than Shapiro. He's just not as annoying. I would not recommend paying any attention whatsoever to Dennis Prager. It's all lies. It's all evil. So, yeah, odious is a very good description. So, you've got to learn some discernment. You've got to learn that people in the media are elevated in order to try to keep you deceived. So, all right. Well, on that note, I wish you all a good evening. I've got some other things I need to do before I turn in tonight, so I'm going to cut it a little bit short. But I hope you understand the point. Enjoy the show. Recognize the buildup, and we'll see what happens. I'm Vox Day. This is the Darkstream.